Kingdom Hearts 3 is a gorgeous looking game in its own right, without the need of any mods or additional enhancements. Running this game on PC at 4K with all of the graphical settings pushed to max, I genuinely believe that this is one of Square Enix's best looking games. One of the most exciting aspects about Kingdom Hearts 3 was seeing how Kingdom Hearts would look with modern graphics. It took such a long time to get a modern Kingdom Hearts game, and it was always really intriguing to wonder what a modern KH game would look like, what Square Enix's approach would be to modernize that visual art style that the classic games had. Recently, I wanted to take up the challenge to see if we could push Kingdom Hearts 3's graphical fidelity even furthermore. There's a few means of being able to do this through primarily the use of mods as well as reshade. I think overall, these additional things added into the game to boost the graphics of Kingdom Hearts 3 are really only going to appeal to graphic enthusiasts, as Kingdom Hearts 3 looks fantastic already. We're using a combination of 4 mods to achieve some better visuals, along with the use of the reshade tool. These mods are the 4K environment texture pack created by 1VRock, the Ultra Plus quality settings created by Vanitas14, motion blur presets also created by Vanitas14, and color corrected characters created by Idias, and we're using reshade. This tool can be used on pretty much any PC game, and essentially allows you to apply different visual effects to your games, color correct, or add filters that you can download. The tweaks with this are really simple things like increased saturation, increasing and decreasing blacks and whites, along with playing around with the curves of the picture's image. And this right here is the result. So allow me to explain exactly what's going on here. The color corrected characters mod is going to enhance and in some cases even change the colors of some of the characters' clothing. It has mentioned that they realized that some of the colors for the characters' outfits appear a little bit washed out, and to better match their CGI models from the CG cutscenes, and to also better reflect the models from the past Kingdom Hearts games, we'll go ahead and create this mod. So the blacks are a lot darker, the colors on the characters' outfits are a little bit more saturated so that the colors pop. This changes all of the Guardians of Light as well as other characters like even Hana, Pence, Olette, Hercules, even some of the Seekers of Darkness. In my opinion, this just makes the characters' outfits look a little bit better. Motion blur presets will allow you to apply motion blur to the game. Now, motion blur is quite a love it or hate it type of thing. It's a preference thing. Not everyone enjoys having motion blur in their games. Interestingly enough, there is a motion blur option within the settings, though this is only applied to cutscenes for some odd reason, and not the actual gameplay. Now for me, I generally turn motion blur off if I've got the choice to do so in my games. It really comes down to how the developers apply motion blur. In most cases, there's just too much, but here, if we apply just a little bit, as motion blur presets comes with 3 different strengths, I think it actually makes the, at least combat situations of Kingdom Hearts look really cool. There's a ton of movement going on in the Kingdom Hearts games, and just a little bit of motion blur, I think, can really enhance the image quality. Ultra Settings Plus improves a few different things, mainly looking at the screen space reflections. This is the main thing that I noticed with this mod. Reflections just appear a lot better. They are a lot more noticeable. The mod's just basically tweaking the value of the screen space reflection beyond what it's defaulted to. The mod will also improve some of the level of detail towards assets throughout the game, along with improving the quality of shadows, and some, not all, of the artifacting that can appear throughout the game. Let's talk about the big one here, and that is the 4K environment textures. This upreses a lot of the textures found throughout Kingdom Hearts 3 to that of 4K. Impressively, a lot of the textures found in the game are actually of a pretty high quality, so some don't need changing, but almost all of them here have been increased. Now, this isn't going to be something that you'll immediately notice. You sort of have to get quite close up and actually have the comparisons side by side to be like, okay, yeah, wow, there's been a change here. Very similar to what Square Enix recently did with the Steam update to the older Kingdom Hearts games by using AI. They upscaled all of the textures throughout those games to that of 4K. So you might be wondering, why hasn't Square Enix done this themselves? In most cases, 4K textures are pretty unnecessary. Again, it's that whole thing of you're not going to notice unless you've literally got the texture underneath a magnifying glass. And considering that the file size of a texture that is of 4K quality is high, it just doesn't really make sense to have pretty much every single texture in the game at 4K. This mod alone adds an additional 25 gigabytes onto the already existing about 66 gigabytes that the game already takes up. And that's 25 gigs in textures. To most people, they're not going to notice it, so this is likely why a lot of developers just don't do 4K textures. But it is a neat thing, because it allows you to actually notice more details within textures. Take this rock, for example, we can actually make out that there's moss on it, and not just some white smudge.
Nice.
It'll make a lot of that environmental detailing just stand out a lot more. But again, it's just that thing of like, you're not really going to notice, as this is a game where you're moving around all the time, you're engaging in combat. You're not standing still every 5 minutes to try and identify if that wall has a scratch on it. Some devs do go out of their way to create HD texture packs for their game as an optional download, but it's generally that thing of this is really only ever designed for those who are enthusiasts towards visuals for their video games. So yeah, you can definitely make Kingdom Hearts 3 look better, but just by small amounts. And I think that really is a testament to how gorgeous this game is, considering that prior to Kingdom Hearts 3's development, Square Enix's Osaka team didn't have any Unreal Engine 4 experience at all. With the assistance of Epic Games themselves, they actually pulled through and crafted one delicious looking video game. Of course, these enhancements are only with the currently available mods. Who knows if there will be later on down the line more mods that further push the visual fidelity of the game? Honestly, I kind of doubt it. I feel like pretty much at the cap of what mod creators can do to improve Kingdom Hearts 3's visuals. Keeping in mind, this is still a modern video game. This is definitely not a case of like Grand Theft Auto 5 with the countless amounts of graphic enhancements mods that are out there for that game, or even Skyrim. It is pretty impressive to see what mod creators have been able to do with those games, but in basic terms, we can put a little bit of icing on the already delicious cake. It's crazy to think that Kingdom Hearts' visuals will only get better. We know that Kingdom Hearts 4 is being developed on Unreal Engine 5. And that Kingdom Hearts 4 is using more of a realistic art style. The next time we see that game, I'm sure we're going to be absolutely stunned by the visuals, as it's been confirmed that the next trailer that releases for Kingdom Hearts 4 will be the game running on Unreal Engine 5. Thanks so much for tuning on in today, guys. As always, I'll leave the mod links in the description down below, if in case any of you guys want to go ahead and install these for yourself. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up with everything that's going on here, and check out my other garbage social media platforms while you're at it. The links are down below. Massive thank yous to my wonderful Turkey-tastic patrons. I really appreciate the support, fellas. I hope each and every one of you are having a fantastic day, and we'll talk real soon.